Check it.
Hello and welcome to Get Fit Walking from Sport Walk. Now, I've left the studio behind me and I've come outside on this cold winter's day because I want to start showing you how you can adapt the way you walk so that everything you do is much more effective. And this means that you're going to make those fitness gains that you're seeking a lot more quickly. Now, although you don't need to learn a new specialised walking technique in order to walk effectively for fitness, changing a few simple things about the way you walk normally will make a big difference. You see, if your walking technique isn't as efficient as it could be, the effort you're making is only partially beneficial. Some of it is going to waste. Think of it a little bit like riding an old bicycle where the teeth on the front cog are really worn down. You're pedaling along really hard, but the chain keeps slipping. So only a small portion of the energy you're expelling is actually going into successfully propelling you forward. This is where our three-step technique adaptation comes to the rescue, because it's the key that unlocks all the potential that walking has for fitness. It gets you moving in the most efficient and effective way, and that means that every step counts, because all the energy you put in gets harnessed to the best effect. Now, while there are 3 steps to this adaptation process, 3 things to change if you like, we're going to split them up and only talk about the first 2 today. This is because these 2 elements relate to your technique, the way you move. The third is all about adding power to your stride, and it's always important to sort out your technique first before you start adding power. But remember, this is about enhancing and improving the way you already walk. It's not about learning a new way to walk. So you'll continue to do all the things you're already doing, it's just that you'll be doing them more efficiently. The 2 things we're going to look at today then are your cadence and your stride length. But even though they are 2 distinct elements in a good walking style, it's really important to adapt them at the same time because they both influence each other. Let's start with cadence. Your walking cadence is the frequency with which your feet hit the ground when you walk. If you walk along counting your steps, you could say it's the number of steps you make per minute. Most people tend to have a low cadence when they walk, not so much by design, but really through habit. This means that their feet will hit the ground less frequently and their step count per minute will be lower than someone with a high cadence. Visually, this looks like you're walking along with a slow stride. A low cadence is really inefficient because you're not taking advantage of your forward momentum to propel you along. So you're having to power each step individually, increasing the effort needed. With a high cadence, because your steps are more frequent, you start the next step before the full momentum from the previous step has died away, saving you energy and giving you a much more fluid and rolling walking style. So your aim then is to have a high cadence to increase the number of steps you take per minute. And a really good way to achieve this is to use music. Pick a track with a strong beat. Dance music is really good for this, regardless of whether you like it or not. Find yourself a track with a tempo of between 125 and around 135 beats per minute. Then you simply walk in time to the music, making sure that your feet hit the ground in time with each beat. You may need to experiment with different songs a little before you find the best one, but it'll be worth it. Once you have some music that's the right tempo, you can start walking in time to it, and this will train your legs to adapt to a higher cadence. The second adaptation is your stride length, and this goes hand in hand with increasing your cadence. If you increase your cadence but don't shorten your stride length, then you're making life very difficult for yourself. You're trying to maintain the same stride length at a higher tempo, and that means you're going to be putting strain on your muscles and it's going to feel very hard. Again, just as many people tend to have a low cadence, they also tend to have a longer than optimal stride length. And this is a barrier to making walking really work as a fitness activity, because it places a limit on how hard and how fast you can go. So, at the same time as working on increasing your cadence, make sure you're shortening your stride length. This will feel like you're taking small, fast steps overall, which might feel a bit odd to start with, but I guarantee if you make these small changes, it will utterly transform how you walk and make progress possible. There's nothing specific that you need to do in order to take shorter strides, apart from just taking shorter strides. But you want to land your leading foot, which is the foot that's out in front of you, close to your body. So you don't want to be reaching out a long way with your front foot. Land it just in front of your torso. Now this may well take a while to bed in, and it's important to give yourself a few months of walking like this for it to become the instinctive, natural way that you walk. So every time you go out walking, concentrate on making these changes. If that means that you slow down a little, or perhaps don't feel like you're making strong progress, don't worry. If you get this adaptation right, you'll be in a far better position to walk strongly than if you just walk in a less effective and efficient way. This will translate into faster progress in becoming fit, but more than that, it'll transform your walking capability overall. Next time, we're going to be looking at the third adaptation to make, which is all about adding power to your stride so that you can go faster and become a stronger walker overall. But for now, keep going out walking 3 or 4 times a week, keep making it count, and make sure that you're concentrating on increasing your cadence and shortening your stride length. And I'll see you again soon.
Check it.